Hello and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Omotayo Alo. It is not yet Uhuru for the embattled president of the Nigerian Senate as the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja today dismissed all the relief sought by Senate President Bukola Saraki, challenging the legality of his arraignment at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. But in a 2-1 judgment delivered by Justice Moore Adumen, the court held that the CCT was properly constituted and has jurisdiction over the case filed by the Code of Conduct Bureau. In his appeal, Bukola Saraki challenged the powers of the tribunal to prosecute him on behalf of the federal government on an alleged false asset declaration of asset. The People's Democratic Party commended its senators for toeing the path of honor by staging a walkout rather than confirm former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi as governor. It also accused the Buhari administration of paying lip service to anti-corruption crusade. The Senate has confirmed the nomination of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. It also approved the nomination of 5 national commissioners recently appointed by President Muhammad Buhari. The new INEC chairman and the national commissioners were cleared after a public screening exercise in the Senate. Senators elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party on Thursday trooped out of the Senate chamber after it dawned on them that the Senate was keen in confirming former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi as minister. This was in spite of a report by the Senate Committee on Ethics and Public Petition that was not favorable to the nominee. PDP senators put up a strong argument to stall Amechi's nomination, but their APC colleagues who were in the majority had their way. To report.
The drama was expected. The chairman of the Committee on Ethics had set the tone by presenting a report that sought to put Amechi's confirmation on hold. Not surprisingly, Senator Anyanwu had the support of his colleagues in the opposition.
The committee accordingly recommends as follows. A. That since the ministerial nominee had gone to the Court of Appeal to challenge the content of the petitions and the white paper of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, the Senate is unable to recommend the consideration of his confirmation. B. That the Senate do consider and adopt the recommendation as proposed by the committee.
I just want us to follow not our sentiments, but follow our rule that in seconding whatever motion he has, that I rather want to move a motion that in line with the agreement that was made on the day of screening, that the Senate do allow proper discussion of the report that has just been presented before us. I so move.
But the APC were prepared to push the nomination of the former Rivers State Governor through. Senate leader Ali Ndome urged the senators to settle the matter through a voice vote and got the backing of one of his colleagues who had buttressed his argument with the Constitution.
So let me explain. I stood up under the standing order to move my motion, and my motion is still standing for secondment, and you put the question.
This is the most important committee of the Senate. It is the committee of the whole. At every committee level, any recommendation can be amended. At committee of the whole, a recommendation can be amended. Point number 1. Point number 2. Point number 2. Point number 2. The basis of the leader's submission, which he brought submission, he brought it under point of order and he moved the motion, a consequential motion, is predicated under Order 53, Rule 5, because this matter is sub judice, is pending, and Order 41, Rule 7, the Senate shall not receive any petition on any matter for which there is a judicial remedy.
Sensing that the majority will have its way, PDP senators drew attention to what they described as a moral burden on the ruling party, and President Buhari before staging a walkout.
Mr. President, From all indications, we are being shut out. And the only reason I am standing up to speak is to tell you, Mr. President, that there is a moral burden on not only this Senate, but on the government of President Buhari.
With the walkout by the PDP senators, the Senate proceeded to dump the report of the committee and clear Amechi for confirmation as Minister in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Appointed as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The presidency has hailed what it describes as the cooperation of the Senate in clearing all the ministerial nominees sent for confirmation. Senior Special Assistant to the President of National Assembly Matters, Ita Enang, said that shows that the two arms of government are working in the best interest of the nation. Senator Enang spoke to journalists shortly after senators confirmed the last set of ministerial nominees.
That there is very harmonious and amiable cooperative working relationship between the executive and the legislature, and there is no iota of dispute. Let me very specifically, before I go to my brothers of the PDP, specifically thank the senators of the All Progressives Congress, because they have shown that when the party is in power, it has to exercise its right to have its way. Let me also, in a very, very special way, thank the senators of the PDP and other political parties, because they had shown, even in the questions they asked, in their voting, that they all act as one Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, irrespective of the political parties, except where their political parties' interest became an issue. So I thank them. Even in the concluding part of it, they still showed their opinion and expressed it in the most decent, the most democratic, and the most constitutional manner. I appreciate them so very much.
The All Progressives Congress has described confirmation of all 36 ministerial nominees by the Senate as a clear indication that there is no more division within the APC family. It says in a statement issued by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Lai Mohammed, in Lagos, that the cohesion and unity exhibited by the APC senators shows that the legislature is ready to work with the executive to ensure the implementation of the party agenda for the overall benefit of Nigerians. It commends all members of the party and Senate leadership of the APC for the show of unity and notes that democracy was clearly at work despite the walkout by the opposition over the confirmation of Rotimi Amechi. It further enjoins the legislature to join hands with the Buhari administration in the narrowest task of nation building. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal by the People's Democratic Party's governorship candidate in the April 11, 2015 election in Imo State. Emeka Idoha challenged in the election of Governor Rochas Okorocha. The seven-man panel of the Supreme Court, presided over by John Fabi, dismissed the appeal for lack of merit. The Apex Court affirmed the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Owerri to the effect that Idoha's failure to properly serve Okorocha and his party, the All Progressives Congress, robbed the appeal court's jurisdiction to hear the case. The Supreme Court also held that failure to indicate the addresses of all the respondents on the processes of the appeal was fatal to the case. Ihedioha, the immediate past Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, had appealed against the ruling of the Imo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which its ruling delivered on July 22, 2015, dismissed this petition on the grounds that it was incompetent. Appealed to the Court of Appeal, which also on September 3, 2015, dismissed the appeal against the ruling of the tribunal. While the governorship tribunal that sat in Jos was delivering judgment, Governor Simeon Lalong said he was in Jerusalem praying for his victory and progress of Nigeria. Addressing well-wishers at the Yakubu Gowon Airport in Jos, he announced that now that the distractions are out of the way, it is time to work. Plateau State correspondent has details.
At his return to the state, the governor asserted that his detractors should go off their former ways and join hands with him to move Plateau State forward because it's time to work.
Some people were calling that don't go away. You have a judgment, don't go away, because you don't know what the judgment will be. I said I have great conviction that if it is the people of Plateau State that God used to bring this judgment, this victory, the same God will not disappoint them. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have the verdict. Very soon, the Babariga you see me wearing, I will not wear it again. Because we are now going to the farm. It is certain that we have the next 4 years to show the people of Plateau State the difference.
The chairman of the APC in the state, Latif Dabag, called on all the people who are still aggrieved to emulate the reconciliatory gesture of the state PDP chairman Raymond Dabo, who hugged him after the tribunal had passed judgment and said, "Let bygone be bygone in the interest of Plateau State."
After the verdict, he looked at me, he walked forward and embraced me and said it was over. He said what was left for the people was for the people of Plateau to come together and work for the progress of peace and development of Plateau State. That is how politics should be played, and we believe that is the end of the matter.
In a brief reception at the government house, the governor urged the state citizens to join him to move Plateau to the next level of development.
This is the time that the work will start. So let us come together and make Plateau.
It expected that with the verdict of the Election Petitions Tribunal, that all hands will be on deck now for further development in Plateau State.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Stay with us.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it is time to forgive me.
Please for Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Welcome. If you're just joining us, it's CoreTV News on the hour. For more of our news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. You get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, Live Space and News. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, Ibrahim Lamade, has sued the Punch newspaper for allegedly maligning his name in the recent publication. The suit was filed on behalf of Lamade by Festus Kayamo at a federal high court in Abuja. Kayamo argued that by publishing allegations against the EFCC chairman in what he described as a sensational, screaming headline titled "Alleged 1 trillion naira diversion," FG orders EFCC to probe Lamade. The newspaper showed his intention to malign his client and drag his reputation in the mud. He noted that the words used in the news item were libelous and damaging to the reputation of Lamade. Aside from seeking 1 billion naira in damage, the lawyer also wants the court to extract a retraction and an apology for the words published on the front page and page 3 of the Punch newspaper of Tuesday, October 27, 2015. He also wants an order of perpetual injunction restraining the newspaper from further publishing any libelous, injurious or defamatory words against his client. Online publications of the Nigeria Weekly Law Report is part of the focal point highlighted at the 30th anniversary of the Weekly Law Report held in Lagos. with the theme The Place of Law Reporting in the 21st Century, Legal Research and Practice. Emmanuel Ajayi, who was at the event, has details.
It was a gathering of legal practitioners coming to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the publication of the Nigerian Weekly Law Report, founded by the late activist Gani Fayomi, were the focal points of the crusade for human rights in Nigeria, from judicial decisions which are captured in the law reports. Speaking at the event, the special guest of honor Richard Oshuolale Akinjide says the publication of the Weekly Law Report serves as a reference point to lawyers.
We follow it. We follow the judgment there. It's very authoritative, and I like it very much.
An ignorant judge is the calamity of the innocent. A judge must be aware of how a matter has been decided by the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. So these law reports help in establishing stare decisis. You do not do things at your own whims and caprice. It is not that this is how I feel like doing it. Some people in the past, they have considered this point on these facts and on this law, and they have felt that this is the way it should be decided.
The issue of online publication of the law reports and judicial reforms were brought to the front line.
Yes, it's the issue of making it online, bringing it online, so that it doesn't have to be hard copies alone. We want to see it online equally.
Law is dynamic, and if law is dynamic, it means that we must keep abreast of developments, globalization, and what have you. Nigeria cannot afford to remain behind. So as as a modernization evolve, as globalization evolve, so also should our law. We should try as much as possible to reform our laws, to make the laws that are applicable in Nigeria to be in tune with the modern trend.
Some lawyers also have this to say.
The Nigerian Weekly Law Report for the past 30 years has been a major resource guide, not only for the Nigerian judiciary, but for the Nigerian legal profession. Its consistency and enduring nature has been a veritable source of joy.
Chief Gani Fayomi, in his lifetime, was always moving with technology. He might not know how to operate the latest computer or software available, but he will acquire it and employ people to operate it. So there's no reason why this transformation of the Nigeria Weekly Law Report from hard copy, to the electronic format.
The Nigerian Weekly Law Report was founded by the late Chief Gani Fayomi, and which serves as judicial precedent of reported cases. And this publication has made tremendous impact in the judiciary. From Lagos, I'm Emmanuel Ajayi, reporting for CoreTV News.
As the controversy surrounding the virtue and controversial circumstance of the medical doctor Tina Thomas grows concern, voices a coalition of women rights organizations have joined the call for a probe into the circumstance leading to her death. Correspondent Neto Elabari, who was at the press brief by the group filed in this report, presented from our studios.
Speaking on the death of the late Tina Thomas, the Executive Director, Project Alert on Violence Against Women, says the increase in violent cases affecting women and girls should be nipped in the bud. She also refuted the claims that the deceased was a psychiatric patient who did not seek medical attention.
What domestic defines it? It means violence that happens in the domestic arena between people who are in a familial relationship. The second one is that's been attributed to the Nigerian Medical Association and the Nigerian Medical Women Association, and also our own family, that she was a psychiatric patient and was suicidal, and as such she committed suicide. And we are saying to both, where is the proof? We have a lot of questions here.
A Project Alert ambassador says, as women, the group is concerned about what happened to her.
Domestic violence against women and children in Nigeria has become more prevalent. It's become more daring. It's become more in your face because there aren't enough consequences for the perpetrator, for the person who has committed these violent acts. But we just want to know what really happened to her. She's a woman like you, like me. If nobody cares, then what are we in the world for? If you cannot trust your husband, whom you share your body and your life, your children with, who can you trust? If your life is at risk in your home that is supposed to be your sanctuary, where are you safe? You're not safe outside.
Another member of the group says the home should not be a battleground of some sorts. She added that it should be safe for every man, woman, and child.
The reports stated that the late doctor was rushed into the accident and emergency ward of Luth in the, in the early hours of Tuesday, October 13th, with injuries on her head and other bruises. At the hospital, she was declared dead. While the social media and the print media reported suspected acts of domestic violence as having led to the young doctor's death, speculations attributed to the Nigerian Medical Association and the Medical Women Association stated that it was a case of suicide. We are therefore calling for a thorough, unbiased police investigation into the questionable and violent death of this young female doctor. We are specifically calling for the constitution of an independent group of pathologists, if possible, from outside Lagos State to conduct a fresh autopsy. The home should not be a battlefield of sorts. It should be a safe place for every man, woman, and child.
Although the Nigerian Medical Association, Medical Women Association, and the deceased husband, a fellow doctor, all insist that her death was a clear case of suicide, the call for an unbiased autopsy to be carried out on the deceased dead body continues to grow.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has decried the outrage of robbery and the chaotic traffic across the state. In a statement on Thursday, his chief press secretary, Abib Arina, disclosed that the governor made this known at the inaugural retreat organized by the state government for commissioners, special advisors and body of permanent secretaries in the state. He urged the commissioners and advisors to come up with ideas that would help alleviate the sufferings of Lagosians. The statement further disclosed that the governor has directed the repair of all potholes to ease vehicular movement and has mandated security agencies to enforce the ban on commercial motorcycle operators, popularly called Okada riders. And on the foreign scene, at least 45 people have been killed and another 140 persons injured during Syrian government airstrikes targeted at a market in Damascus suburb. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said government warplanes bombed a busy market today in Doma, a Damascus suburb that has been under government attack for weeks now. A local activist who confirmed this said Doma has been under heavy attack since Friday morning. And it's a wrap on CoreTV News at this hour. Thank you so very much for joining us. My name is Omotayo Alo.